Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1083, titled "The Truth of That Day," in which it's a direct follow-up of like the previous events, in which turns out, the last chapter had a bit of a cliffhanger of Sabo returning after Buggy declared he wanted to go find the One Piece. And Sabo sitting down and Dragon and Ivankov, showing he survived the destruction of Elusia, and that what he saw, and telling them what actually happened on that day, who actually killed Cobra, and where he was, and all that stuff, and how he got framed and all that stuff. So yeah, there was some debate whether or not will cut back to Egghead, or we'll see this flashback, but from the sounds of this title, and the summary of what I'm about to say of the chapter, turns out we actually get to see what happened. But yeah, but before we get all the summaries and details about that, we've got a cover discussion for the reader request. Doflamingo offering his coat to a new home for a chick that fell from the nest by Micro, where you see him getting a bandage for a bump for the bird. It's actually kind of nice. It seems a bit odd since this seems to be like, in real life, Doflamingo probably wouldn't do this. But I think there has been some comparison to made that Doflamingo is seeing himself in that bird as a heavenly being that was dragged down by like force against his will, particularly by his father. So he sees himself in his bird, so it allows him to have this one shred of humanity. The only other thing is that this could be like Oda is choosing this one because it's going to hint of Doflamingo breaking out of Imperial Down. But I do know when the spoilers first came out, and they mentioned this, him on the cover, some people thought we were going to get a cover story of the Imperial Down breakout, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not there's going to be a breakout, and if it's going to be a cover story, or if it's going to be like some point during the events of this arc, or maybe even a flashback. But yeah. But anyway, now to the summary, where we are back in we're still in the Kambaka Queendom. Let's see where Sabo, where you see like Molly and the other revolutionaries outside. Let's see, I think also Cola and Limber are there. Maybe Betty, but I think I see that Bunny, the guy that dresses that Bunny from that was with that's the part of the Imperial Down conflicts from like 2 years ago. I mean, okay, that's kind of cool if he's part of the revolutionaries or just a citizen of this kingdom now. But anyway, Sabo is just pretty much telling how they completed their objectives, like mainly the three they had. First one was, of course, destroying the symbol, which we saw back in 1054 as a declaration of war against the Celestial Dragons, as they're now going all-out war with them. Granted, you could argue the revolutionaries were at war with the world government, but now they're in open warfare, particularly against the Celestial Dragons. But yeah, and to flee as many slaves as possible and take back Kuma along with them and all that stuff. And the third is a new bit of it. And the third one is a bit of info that we had no idea about previously, is that they venture into the land of gods and destroy their food stockpile and all that stuff. Let's see, and with him asking how the reaction was, all that stuff, and with Ivanka explaining, well, they definitely got the world's attention. Let's see, and also that the Navy's strength was kept occupied as a result. They were able to, Dragon explains that they were able to use their influence in at least 12 nations to rise up in rebellion and take up arms against their corrupt kings. 8 of them were successful, and this is like the 8-nation revolution, if you will. Though Ivanka points out that, Elusia did suddenly vanish and all that stuff, so it's now technically 7. So yeah, but Dragon confirms that they won't be, under the new leadership of these nations, they won't be paying the heavily tributes to the government and, stop exporting their resources, even if it's not covered in the papers, arguably to not to prevent other nations from doing the same thing. But yeah, apparently all around the world, you've got revolutionaries are attacking government cargo ships that are Gritzy being supplied to the Murray jar where the world nobles were having their food stock. And Ivanka points out, as since Marie Jonathan Pendrell fortress, and due to its like great height, they have no way of like let's see, it'll be very hard to invade it. But if we cut out their food supply, they'll starve up there and all that stuff. So they'll be getting a taste of their own medicine, if you will, as he gets all excited by going hee-haw, and they'll hit him where it hurts, and they get a taste of their own medicine since they all the resources they take from all the poor kingdoms. Of course, there's quite a lot of starvation in the world and all that stuff. Let's see. Dragon saying that by now they've probably won't be able to stop all the supplies going up. They've probably an impact that they've probably felt now. And he warns that as a result, they're not going to take quiet in this action, and they're going to move and all that stuff. And apparently they will now mobilize this force that we've also only heard in 1054. This group called the Holy Knights, or God's Knights, depending on which translation. And apparently that's when all the serious fighting again, when this war will seriously begin and all that stuff. Once those are deployed, they'll have to fight them. With Ivanka pointing out that, okay, Sabo, you will be their target, or Flame Emperor, which is revealed that Sabo doesn't really like that name. And Dragon is ending up asking, like, regardless, the truth of what happened, the assassination of, like, King Cobra has turned him into a hero to the eyes of the people. And goes on about how, while in the perspective of rebels, anyone who's, like, affiliated with the world government is evil, or an enemy, if you will. And the Dragon points out that in the moral grey situation, that not all there are kings that oppress their people. I mean, we've seen it like with Wapple and Stelly in the previous Gar Kingdom, king who wanted to burn all the, citizens in the trash piles to make sure it all looked good for when the world noble arrived. But there are also some very good kings and capable ones, and of course, let's see, Cobra was probably regarded as a level of itself, as like one of the best kings, arguably. So, but of course, the news doesn't spread accurately. But yeah, let's see. Well, Sabo says, like, despite what happened to King Cobra, he's fine with the situation as long as, like, as they can do anything to get the flames of revolution burning. With depending on, like, Dragon. Depending on which translation says do that, that's hardcore, or like or he seems to agree with that. Let's see, attitude. So yeah, let's see, with Ivankov really asking, like, okay, let's hear the truth of the story, as he shows them a paper where apparently where you have Sabo over Cobra's dead body and wondering, like, okay, is there any truth to this after what you're doing, all that stuff? As they all cheered and blagged that this wasn't true and all that stuff, and there must be some reason, as they all want to believe in you. While Dragon's just coldly staring into his drink as he's drinking it, while Sabo's just seemingly looking shocked for the first time at what at this picture, like he's just watching. I wonder if he's like watching it for the first time, and we cut to the flashback, which. Before then, I'm going to give my thoughts on this conversation. I'm really glad that we stuck with this, as as many people are hoping that if we're going to get, because we really want to hear what went down on, the Leverly. And anyways, the Leverly arc was kind of a split arc, really. Like, you got the setup for it and all that stuff. The mini arc was pretty much a setup. You got all the people interacting, but all the action and all the details of it, of what actually happened in the actual event, was done off screen. We got some hints about it. Someone was murdered, something happened to Sabo, and the warlord, and due to Fujitora, Cobra, and Riku, the warlords were disbanded. It's not until 1054 we learned that Jutsu Sabo apparently murdered King Cobra, and Vivi went missing, and that was the incident there. And then there was also someone with Saint Charlos with the Holy Knights. But yeah, and Saint Mosgard as well. But yeah, So, but yeah, but it's also interesting that we actually learn more than just the revolutionaries' goals and just rescuing Kuma, because that seemed to be the only thing. Let's see, the only objective that the revolutionaries have when we first saw the Levely arc. But let's see, but of course, when we got 1051, they had like a symbol of declaration of war, in which arguably now the revolutionaries are now in full-on war, open warfare with the world government and Celestial, or more specifically, the Celestial Dragons. Second one, let's see, is more of an extension of what we knew. They're planning to free Kuma, but they're also going to free as many slaves as possible, and do it in many ways, doing another Fisher Tiger, if you will, but on probably a much more symbolic gesture, like with the declaration of war, and also rescuing like their former comrade, because of like just the symbol of his status as a slave represented like, this is what happens when you defy the world government. Well, we've saved him, well, we freed him and all your other slaves. So yeah. And this one is probably the biggest surprise for many people, is the fact that let's see, they've destroyed their food stock and all that stuff. So one of the revolutionaries' goals is to destroy the food stock supply and prevent any other supplies coming in to starve out the world nobles. In many ways, I think this is let's see. I think this is really good and all that stuff, guys. You see this in modern day warfare with supplies and all that stuff. I mean, if you go with like the invasion of Ukraine with Russia, there's been like a issue. I think there's been some crisis with like a food grain, since Ukraine has been like one of the biggest exports of like all that sort of like foods and supply grain to the rest of the world and stuff. So that's caused bread prices to increase. So that's had that sort of effect on warfare, with some people pressuring like the war to end as quickly as possible, or some saying just, Ukraine concede to some land to Russia, stuff like that. And but yeah, but it's kind of cool because we don't really necessarily let's see, in many of them, let's see, shonen manga that have done war arcs, they've mostly just done the fighting. They've never really done this. They've never really done like issues on food supply. And as far as I can tell, the revolution, we pretty much, arguably, we're probably just about, at least in terms of the revolutionary world government, we're already in the the global war has pretty much begun, and the throne war for the Pirate King has just pretty much also arguably started, with like the Yonko making a move, with like Blackbeard attacking Law, and Shanks and Kid picking a fight with Shanks, with him fighting back, and the world government about to go to war on Egghead and causing a great incident, which may also not in fact the pirate world, but also arguably the revolutionaries when it happens. But arguably, the global war of One Piece has arguably begun. In many ways, I do like it. I do like that's the fact that you've got pretty much just an entire war going on in the background. In many ways, it makes it a bit more realistic and actually allows more time to go in. And all these incidents and skirmishes and revolutions are just bits and pieces of a much bigger conflict. But yeah. But anyway, let's see. So I do like that that was their like third target and all that stuff. So yeah, and I love how it's to give the world nobles a taste of their own medicine as well. It's like they'll be starve them from their luxurious foods. They'll get a glimpse of the suffering they have caused to like millions of people around the world. Many countries who have just gone starving poor because they have to pay the tribute and give their resources, even having to go to war with other countries, or just not having the world government's protection and deal with the risk of pirates. Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Or arguably trying to ally with like the Yonko and all that stuff, as I think that's what some people did with like Big Mom, just because of like they're desperately for protection. But of course, depending on the Yonko, they can be tyrants, which is like the case with Kaido and Big Mom, and arguably Blackbeard. So unless he was like under protection of like say Shanks or Whitebeard, and now probably Luffy, you're not going to be that much protected lower. Granted, Buggy semi-protection, really. As long as you kill as long as you kill Marines, but yeah. So, yeah, but it's also interesting to learn the fact that the 8-nation revolution that happened with the Revolutionary Army was actually 12, and so far, like 2 out of 3, arguably 2/3 of those revolutions were successful. So I do like that you've got more context about that. So it was actually a 12-nation rebellion, but only 4 successful. So despite the fact that you're getting some mostly victories for the Revolutionary Army, you are also getting defeats and all that stuff. Though granted, granted, as Ivanka points out, one of the kingdoms vanished, so it's kind of interesting because it's interesting that not only one of them was scheduled to be annihilated. Now, I wonder if that means that eventually the other 7 will be annihilated, or is it just decided that only Eleusis would be erased from history? Now, why was Eleusis picked? I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out. It's possible that Emu decided that out of like the 7 or 8 of the nations that rebelled, this one was the least useful and all that stuff. So let's see, they'll need to try and reclaim the resources of the others and all that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, we're pretty much let's see, this is the first of the skirmish, the 8-nation revolutions, with the first skirmish. They've got new leaders, and now you've got revolutionaries doing guerrilla warfare and taking supplies out all over the other place. But of course, Dragon ends up pointing out that there's now that means that a new faction is emerging, the God Knights, and they will be the God or the Holy Knights, in which we were, of course, mentioned. Who actually before then people just assumed they were judges for the world nobles, but it seems that they're actually fighters. And we've apparently got a chivalry of 9. Though granted, Dragon's speech bubble covers it. I think some people are able to find a way to show that it's 9, but yeah. And this has led to all sorts of speculations, but it seems the world nobles, world government has another faction under them, not just Cypher Pole. Let's see. Now, granted, let's see why this faction was only introduced so late now. Arguably, it could be a late addition, and Odanis wanted to likes to draw chivalrettes. Or it could be that Oda wanted to save these guys for last. Though, granted, arguably, I do kind of wish if this was a long-term plan, I'd rather it would have been hinted much more than just towards the end of Wano, and perhaps maybe let's see, maybe sometime along with Cypher Pole. But then again, it could be possible that since Cypher Pole turned out to be weaker than we expected, they're not on like Yonko or Admiral level or any of the members. It's like, okay, the world nobles now need probably another world government needs another faction. Granted, it looked like the Sephram were going to fill that role, but it could be that, let's see, them and the God Knights will also fill that role. But it's also led to some speculations. Mainly the one at the center apparently looks like a chivalry of Shanks. And I think some have made the one next to him looks like Dragon, though that might not be the case. But this has led to many speculations. Oh, is this Shanks? Is Shanks actually evil? Is that why he met with the Gorosei? Or which, to be honest, that one I'm doubting. Let's see. Out of the other option is that this is someone that is related to Shanks, because as we know from One Piece Red film, the data books, Shanks is a part of the Figureland family and all that stuff. And that might apply to be some world noble family, or at least some family connected to the world nobles. So this might be his brother. So yeah, or at least some relative, like his father, maybe uncle, cousin, I don't know, something, but yeah. And now, granted, we have no idea how strong these guys are, but Dragon views them as a serious threat. Now, whether or not they are Admiral level, Yonko level, a mix of Admiral, Yonko, Vice Admiral, Vice Commander, all that stuff, either way, there might be different power scaling. But depending on who they are, they could very well be the final opponents for the Straw Hats, while Luffy deals with Emu if they're not fighting the Sephram. Or it could be a mix where some of the Straw Hats fight these guys, some of them fight the Sephram, or you get a mix of the Straw Hats fighting a mix of them both and some of their allies. Heck, I'm wondering with this Shanks copycat, let's see, or Shanks lookalike possibly, this might be a way to have Kid come back and have a sort of rematch against Shanks, but ends up taking on his lookalike as a substitute and all that stuff, and arguably try and redeem himself. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Though, but yeah, though it could also be possible that this guy has no relation to Shanks, and it's just like destroying the Chivalrette and all that stuff. Though I still feel like this might just be a bit deliberate. But yeah, but with so many allies for the Straw Hats and so many let's see, we're probably going to need some enemies for like that, and these guys might be the perfect way to do it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It really depends on what Oda's going to do with these Holy Knights. But it's very interesting that we're just getting. This is arguably probably going to be the last faction or sect or group of the world government and the power scaling that we're going to get in the hierarchy of One Piece. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see whether or not people accept this new late edition or they feel like this is too much. But yeah, granted, let's see. Since we're in I doubt they'll be getting in-depth characters, and probably maybe one or two will get that much focus. But who knows? We'll wait and see. But yeah, it's interesting to the fact that the first target, of course, will be Sabo. But it's interesting to learn that Sabo does not like the Flame Emperor title. Maybe it's because of the whole nobility thing, or maybe just because of maybe it sounds menacing, or maybe he just doesn't jig his style or something. But yeah, but it's interesting to learn that from what Dragon has said that let's see, it's the name he's got, and as a result of you being accused of assassinating Cobra, you're now seen as a hero in the eyes of like rebels, revolutionaries everywhere. And it goes to show the sort of like a moral grey conflict. And this shows us a bit of a more grey area for the revolutionaries, where many of them just view, and regardless of the king, good or bad, if you're affiliated with the government, for many of those revolutionaries, they'll see you as evil and celebrate your death, which could be wrong, because that might get more of the good citizens who like the good kings turn against the revolutionaries. But otherwise, let's see, killing any kings, but those are just view the world government as just evil. We'll just like rally to the cause and yeah, do this. But yeah, and let's see, and Dragon does acknowledge that fact, and that King Cobra was a league of his own, which might explain why Dragon might not necessarily been okay with the idea of Sabo being the one responsible for killing killing Cobra and all that stuff. Though yeah, because like okay, this was one of the good kings, and that kind of muddies the water of his like revolution. Though granted, I have seen some criticism that Dragon should never have doubted Sabo and all that stuff. But yeah, but that is what it is. Though I think the newspaper, with the way it was angled, kind of, I guess, made him like, okay, maybe Sabo did do this and all that stuff. But yeah, let's see. But anyway, but there seems to be a bit of a darker side with like Sabo. It's like well, he feels bad for the death of the king. He's fine with the outcome if it means it funnels the flame of rebellion, and that goes to show with Dragon. And this is probably one place where Luffy would probably clash with them, because he likes Scope. It's like, how could you be saying that? But I think who knows? But they see sort of like a larger picture. They might see this as more of a larger picture of like, let's see, the revolution is more important than just the life of one king, even a noble one. But yeah, but I can definitely see the Straw Hats. Some of the Straw Hats, particularly like the ones who know Vivi the most, maybe except Zoro, who's also a bit of a rational who's a bit more thinking rational, or long-term thing, if you will, or more of a long-term mindset. And maybe Vivi having issues with like what Sabo said, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I'm really curious to see the meeting between Sabo and Luffy and Dragon for when it happens. But yeah, but it just goes to show you that Dragon and Sabo do have a bit of a moral grey side to them. But of course, I do like how they were like, if outcome points, they were hoping that this wasn't true. And the pictures really does make it look like, let's see, I can see how anyone would think that Sabo did assassinate with that picture there. Of course, There's enough evidence to think that, let's see, wrong timing of the picture. Wrong place, wrong time kind of situation, and he just got caught in the picture, though. I do wonder how enough, let's see, Big News Morgan got a picture of this and all that stuff. I'm just wondering, did someone just take a picture to frame Sabo, but then they decided, wait, you know what, we don't want this news spreading out, at least until we got it to our liking. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, now that that bit is over with, I am now going to summarize the second part of the chapter, in which let's see, the flashback in which we see the battle taking place and really the declaration of war and all that stuff. The symbol has been destroyed. You've got world nobles running and all that stuff. Shocked that the revolutionary captains are there. They've destroyed their food thing and all that stuff, and they're being sieged and all that stuff. And all that stuff. You see them running and all that stuff. And many of them going like, oh, this is outrageous. Not only this destroying our symbol, but taking our luxury food. Calling them jealous peasants, and then how dare they destroy their thing, with one of them demanding that they be executed and off with their heads. And another one, an elderly woman from the looks of things, at least I assume it, or she might just have an ugly face, but I mean, because Oda does like drawing them to having an ugly face. Let's see, have her demanding that their security forces, though I think depending on which translation, the guards that came with the other kingdoms, but it's like those who were like on guard duty, but this one might be more accurate from the Viz translation, guards be executed as well for letting this travesty happen, and then these forces, let's see, swoop in. It's like, dang, that is harsh. And you got another one, just see, with a sort of evil twirly mustache and a rat's teeth, if you will, and a pointy nose. Let's see, whipping an elderly pirate captain to move and fast, but he's going too slow for his liking. Even though he wants his own life to be, let's see, only considering his own life and saying that this guy is considering himself useless, decides to terminate him or execute him there on the spot, despite much to the pirate captain's pleas. But let's see. But then one of, I believe, Karasu's crows flies down to take the gun, as it's revealed to be a move called Karashoot. Let's see, the noble just being shocked that this happened. And the crow ends up talking to the pirate captain slaves, telling him to run to the Eastport. And you have Cypherpol agents shooting, let's see, the ones in the black suits and all that stuff, shooting Karasu, apparently putting bullets through him, which makes it look like he's actually a Logia type, with saying how dare they shoot Plumbing, evacuate him to safety and all that stuff, with the Plumbing in the background saying, just shoot him, kill him and all that stuff. And they think at first he might have shot them, but then you see sort of the black soot coming down. We'll see black dust coming down below, which is, soot. And Karasu, with an introduction about of him being the Northern Revolutionary Army commander, but also someone who ate the suit fruit, uses a move called Obelisk Shots, which is more just a, I think, way of just saying obelisk, doing an attack of obelisk spikes coming up and taking out the Cypherpol agents and all that stuff. And then you cut to Lindbergh, who is using his laser shooter to, shoot the chains off the slaves, telling them to hurry to the East Town, and they're going to try and get them out and all that stuff. You've got some of the slaves thanking him as they run. Let's see, for their lives, as he ends up looking at the other end of the spectrum, seeing where his comrades are fighting in the background. You see a huge explosion, but you have one of Karasu's crows telling Lindbergh to, take the Liberated this way, as you see the actual Karasu fighting Fujitora by himself using a move called Crow So Lotus, as you got quite a lot of his crows flying down, attacking Fujitora as he's blocking them, as he's attempting to block them all. And next we get a double page spread where you see mostly Morley fighting, let's see, Admiral Greenbull or Ryoku or Aramakari, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But he's going like, why are you angry? Why are all the boys so angry all the time and all that stuff? With him going like, you're wrecking the city. Demanding where Sabo, their leader, went, but he's like, and Molly's going like, "Are you trying to invade my privacy, you perv?" But we see him as he's fighting, using his Devil Fruit to move the area about as Green Balls and his giant tree form. His hand is being stabbed by Morley's trident, if you will, and you see Fly and you got kind of like Green Bull apparently saying, "Who are you calling a perv?" But you see the world nobles flying about and all that stuff, and him going like, and Morley just going, "Ew, don't stare at me," like that. But it's like, but then one of the world nobles, sort of one that looks like one of those princes that was trying to marry Shihoshi and all that stuff, saying that, telling the admiral that Rengoku that you'll be put to death if any of us get hurt and all that stuff, with meaning that he can't go full out. And Green Bull realizes like, how can I do my job when you expect me to not go full out? Thinking now they should all just get out of here. And then you get like Fujitora someone asking what he's doing, and he's planning to drop a Itia, but the other person says, "No, you idiot! Anything but that." I can't tell if it's a world noble or Rengoku, but either way, let's see. The admirals can't go full out, and you've got some people commenting, some Shurest figures commenting about how with two admirals normally, let's see, they were able to wipe the map clean with just two of them. But since this is the Holy Land of the Gods, they can't do that. Let's see. And it's revealed to be none other than the remaining Cypher 9, where, let's see, hold on. Let me just see if I can get all the names up. CP9, you've got like, well, we know Califa and Bluna were like, revealed to be members of Cypher Pole Zero from the One Piece film Red. But let's see. You've got let's see. Besides Luna Caliver, you've got Furoko. Let's see, Kumandori and Jabra. Let's see there. Let's see. All of the original Cypher Pole are now confirmed. 9 to be confirmed. 0 and all that stuff. So yeah, and let's see. Now, with one of the Bluno commenting, like, even with the handicap, the revolutionaries are putting quite a good fight. And Kumandari commenting about how, those captains of the revolutionary are strong and all that stuff. They're also weird. Going with them doing their yuri and Fukuro going like chat chat pa pa. And you just see another panel of just the three revolutionaries fighting. And then, of course, we've got Karasu just contacting Sabo saying, "Have you found Kuma yet?" And all that other key calls yet. With him saying that any minute now. Let's see, but he's found the location. He found out where the location is and tells Lundberg that tells him that Kuma's moved to the Pagar Castle as well. Much their surprise, and apparently he saw him with Saint Rosalind and his son Charlos. And they're apparently planning to plot their revenge for what happened earlier in the courtyard, with them just being shocked and all that stuff. Thinking that he hasn't given up on. Charles hasn't given up on kidnapping Shihoshi and making her his mermaid pet, as you can hear him say that. She'll be mine. As we see a bit of a panel with Shihoshi probably talking to Manshirley, or the little dwarf, Tantara dwarf princess, from the hands and all that stuff. They're just smiling, having fun from the looks of things. Let's see. Let's see, with him saying how they'll never let him use Kuma like that, with Sabo agreeing, telling him to get Morley ready, as it seems that they need their plan is to have Morley help rescue them. And we also see Bonnie also running, arguably, to her dad, all that stuff. And then we cut to like Vivi talking to like Rob Lucci, saying that to leave him alone, as let's see, she wants to ask Vice Admiral Garp for help and all that stuff, but him says that we are here to protect them themselves, but she doesn't believe that, since what happened with Shirahoshi back then. And all he can do is just coldly stare. Let's see, as she knows that they'll go after her again. And then we cut to like the final bit where we see like some of the Celestial regular Knight Royal Guards guarding them, telling them that only Cobra's permitted to enter the room, with like Pell and Chopper protesting, but Cobra says it's all right, saying that this meeting won't take long, but he doesn't really also want them waiting around getting bored at the same time. So he tasks them to go watch out for Vivi instead, as they know that since she's a bit of a tomboy daughter, she's bound to cause a bit of trouble or get herself into trouble, and that ends the chapter. Okay, it is really great that we're actually seeing the actual battle taking place and all that stuff. As let's see, for a long time, I think many people thought that just that versus panel from like 1054 was all we were gonna get of the fight, and there was just gonna be another one of Oda's off-screen fights, as that tends to happen. Sometimes that can be work for suspension, like Okiji versus Akainu. But what happens too often, people are like, oh, I want to see it. Don't tease it, man. But yeah, but we're actually getting to see the fight and all that stuff. And yeah, it's cool to see. I do love just seeing the world, all of these world nobles designs, and just Oda's just being creating all these ugly designs and all that stuff. Let's see, and yeah, my favorite's the one with the black hair, just like big mouth that looks like an amateur. I guess looks like another, looks like a more exaggerated Charlos, if I had to say, being outraged that they're attacking their food supply, and oh, they must be jealous, all that stuff. But yeah, but you see, it's really all that sort of like creative designs and all that stuff. So it's nice to see that. I do like them just seeing these lot panic and all that stuff. You just love, and this is the one series where you just love seeing guys like this just get the just being miserable and just being beaten up and all that stuff like that. Just them getting mad and them panicking, all that kind of thing. Because everyone hates the world nobles, but yeah. But yeah, but their cruelty knows no bounds, because they're just blaming the guards for an unexpected attack and some of them demanding execution and all that stuff. And you get more of a glimpse of us how evil they are, and we've finally got a name of a new set world noble, Saint Plumbing. I mean, granted, some of these other world nobles probably have names, but I guess we even have to wait for an SBS or sometime later for them. But it's just trying to shoot this poor pirate captain who's far too old to actually be carrying him. But yeah, I do like how he's got like the evil mustache and the sort of rat features to say that this guy's a rat. But yeah, stuff like that. But anyway, I do like that we've got confirmation on what Karasu's devil fruit is, the suit thing. And we thought it was like either some special paramecia or some sort of, let's see, special zoning, but it appears to be a Logia, from my understanding, sort of the environmental or elemental substance of what happens after a massive fire or burn or something. But yeah, but pretty much this guy's pretty much, I think, an Ashman pretty much, and he seems to be a very creative one, because not only can he create crows to attack, we can also get those crows to talk and well and use as communication. So yeah. It is actually nice the fact that it's not just the world government that just gets more than one Logia user, with Sabo being the flame user. Now you've now got technically two. Well, granted, you've also had the Blackbeard pirates with Aokiji joining, and Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi, or Darkness Fruit. But yeah, So it's nice to see just how creative Karasu is, turning crows, creating obelisk spikes, and he seems to be quite effective with it, as we see him attacking Fujitora. But it's interesting that the fact that that the revolutionaries are not, let's see, going two against one or 4 against 2 and all that stuff, but we're actually getting one-on-one battles, which just shows how impressive, let's see, the revolutionary commanders are, even with like the handicap, which we'll get to later. But yeah, but it's interesting. But I do like the sort of matchups. Karasu being the dead serious one versus Fujitora, who's also a bit of a serious guy, except when he's doing his love of gambling. So yeah, I like that. And you have Morley fighting let's see, Greenbow, who's probably a bit more of the jokey admiral, really, given some of his let's see, given his losses, let's see, being spooked by Shanks' hockey and all that stuff. But yeah. I do like how you've got Lemberg just shooting the chains, freeing the slaves, and getting them all to safety on the East Port. And clearly, they had some means of transportation of getting all these slaves out of their former slaves or escaped slaves out of here, because it's like they wouldn't just leave them trapped, and they must be doing something. I don't know if it's a hijack or some sort of the travel of the let's see, escalate of the sort of elevator they have, if you will, or just they've got some sort of flying ship, or they've just got, I don't know, some way to just have them teleport off. But I don't know, we'll at some point probably see how all these slaves escape at some point. But yeah. But I do kind of like the interactions between Morley and Green, both like, ooh, you're causing a bit of a destruction here. It's like, that's because of you. And then that's the man, where's Sabo, your leader? I want to deal with him. But he's like, ooh, you naughty perv, and all that stuff. And it's like, he's been like, who are you calling a perv? But yeah. But we end up getting a sort of explanation about, okay, why the admirals, when, let's see, which I think, let's see, that member of the Marines, let me just get his name up. Marines, One Piece. Let me just find out where this guy is in the hierarchy of the Marines. Other, let's see, where is it? Other high-ranking. Oh yeah, Director Kuruma or Tensai, saying that, okay, it's confirmed that, yeah, I'm sure they couldn't go all out, and you can see that with the world noble saying, "Don't you get me hurt, you son of a gun!" I do like how Green Bull, or let's see, Aramaki and all that stuff is just it's just like annoying. Let's see, despite his loyalty to the world nobles and all that stuff, gets kind of annoyed when they're getting in the way and doing like another demand and all that stuff, saying that like, am I supposed to protect you if you won't let me go out? Just get out of the way, you're a nuisance and that stuff. So it shows that despite his loyalty, even he can get annoyed with them from time to time. And let's see, for Fujitora just trying to summon a giant meteor, seems like he just doesn't care if he hits a few world nobles, because, well, we've seen him morally and he does not seem to agree with them and all that stuff. So there's that. But to think the fact that we've got the return of Cypher Paul 9 and the remaining members, be it the ones from Red that we've seen and the others, let's see, they're all here, and I really do like the design, particularly of Chap with like those black glasses and all that stuff. So I think some people have made some reference to Jujutsu Kaisen there, but yeah. But it's like, I do like how, despite the fact that, okay, yes, the Admirals are probably technically stronger, and normally in any battle they would probably win. Let's see, in Marine World they're handicapped, and these revolutionary commanders are pretty strong and all that stuff. And they're meaning serious business, so yeah, they're no pushovers either. Even if in a regular fight they might not really stand a chance, especially one-on-one against an admiral. But yeah, but the saturation, they are doing well and all that stuff. So yeah, I quite like how they're fighting and all that stuff. I mean, granted, I still seen some people like King of Lightning saying like no excuses, like Arcanino said, no excuses. Sabo and a few good men. So yeah, he's selling shirts like that. So yeah. So it seems like most people are like, okay, this makes sense now. They're held back because of Marich War. They can't hurt the world nobles, while the Red Sea revolutionaries can go out. And even then, they still prove to be quite a threat. Let's see. Yeah. Seeing all that stuff, but it's the bigger role is that Sabo himself is going after, trying to search for Kuma and the keys themselves, and he spots Kuma with Charlos and Rosno, and well, they haven't given up. They haven't given up, and it's like, Charlos, you never learn your lesson, despite how many times you get beaten in. Then again, I guess with a father like Rosalind, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't listen, but yeah, or he'll be spoiled, but yeah. But I do like how Sabo's like, okay, they haven't given up on Shiaso and all that stuff, given the incident later. And this is probably leading to like the bit where Moscow is accused of letting assassins who hit Charlos get away. So yeah, that bit of a conflict will happen. And whether or not Shiaso will be captured again remains to be seen. But you've got now Bonnie, who seems to really hate the world nobles, now and probably more willing to attack them lately. And you've got probably Sai and Leo there. So, and before we know, Sabo could be the one to actually hurt them. But yeah, he hurt the duo. But either way, let's see. Charlos is going to be attacked, and Kuma's going to be free at some point. We'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. But anyway, I do like how Vivi is just giving smack talk to Rob Lucci about how I want Garp here, and it makes sense she would want Garp, because not only is that like Luffy's grandfather, someone she can openly trust and even talk about the situation. Heck, you saw that with Shirahoshi. But also, he's also someone that is willing to defy the world nobles and all that stuff, unlike Rob Lucci, and it clearly can tell that it's getting under his skin with her saying that. But anyway, as for the last bit, let's see. It's interesting how Cobra's going there with him by himself. None of the bodyguards, which I think was expected, but he tasks them to protect. Let's see, Vivi. Let's see why he's gone. But he's quite confident. He thinks that it's going to go and all that stuff smoothly, and just wants to be on the safe side. That let's see Vivi be taken care of, given her tomboy attitude and. She had a knack for getting into trouble and all that stuff, so she can't help herself. So, but yeah, and yeah, that would be in the end of the chapter, setting up for him possibly meeting the five elders and possibly maybe Emu himself at last, and we finally get some idea of what he actually looks like. But yeah. But granted, I do think there's a bit. Granted, I will say for the artwork for Cobra, I feel like the face is a bit off with him just looking in them with their actions, but yeah. Which I'm all fine with, but let's see, Ghost variety people. Let's see when it comes to the choices for Switch, but yeah, on Nintendo stuff. But and I'm sort of losing track here, but I must be thinking of something else. Sorry about that, but yeah. I do like how we got Bonnie there to remind us that, okay, yeah, she is a part of this arc, and we're going to learn the details here, how Wushi learns of Sabo, but Cobra is pretty much the eye before the storm, before all those death flags. Let's see, the Shakespearean tragedy taking place in real life. So, whatever he's going to ask them, all that stuff, it's eventually going to lead to his death. The only thing is, we'll have to find out who actually killed him and all that stuff. So yeah, and if Emu will make an appearance. So yeah, for arguably possibly the final bad guy, it's about time we start to get some more ideas of what he looks like and what he's like as a villain and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that bit as well. Overall, I'd probably give this chapter a sort of 9.5 to maybe even a 10. I mean, well, probably 9.5 to 9, really, but still. Yeah, I'll do 9.5. Let's see. We actually got a follow up from like the cliffhanger from last chapter. Sabo telling them the situation. We're learning that the world revolutionary army is taking down the world level's food supply. There are actually 12 rebellions, not 8. Let's see. The Guard Knights have been introduced as a more threatening force, with one of them possibly being a Shillerette of Shanks. We actually see the battle at the Leveille, where you see the Admirals versus the Revolutionary Commanders, and an explanation of why they weren't able to go all out, but still also show that the Revolutionary captains are still pretty impressive themselves, and they're able to deal with them one on one, while the other half go find the rescue slaves and find the keys and all that stuff. So yeah, the designs of some of these world nobles just makes you just want to give them a piece of your mind. But I guess that's what Luffy's here for. But yeah, well, also the fact that you got reminders of Egghead with like Bonnie there. Let's see, Charles still going after Shiroshi, which is leading up to like that incident with Mossguard. And of course, the cliffhanger of Cobra ready to meet the Gosei and asks him his questions on the Void Sentry, which will ultimately lead to his demise. So yeah, pretty good chapter. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review. Anyway, for those who end up listening to this review, I hope you enjoy what I had to say. And I look forward to reviewing the next chapter of One Piece when it comes out. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Please subscribe. And with all that marketing over with, I am now gone. All right, see you, everyone.